So the Bears have done it again. Bears 31, Packers 27. I think I say this every week, but this is probably the best one of terms of the comeback, just because it was the playoffs. It's Green Bay. It's at Soldier Field. Just unbelievable. And I always feel like I've sounded a bit insane talking about the Bears games, just because I always sound a bit depressed at the first half and I'm saying how bad we are. And I end up after the video basically sounding like we're going to the Super Bowl. But that is the Bears this season, and we just got to strap on and just let Ben Johnson take us on this ride because, yeah, impressive. I've got to admit, it did feel a bit different in the first half. I wasn't sure we are going to come back. It felt like the ball wasn't dropping our way. There was like a time where we caused a fumble and the ball felt like it was in play for about a minute and we just couldn't jump on it. And it just felt like the ball just wasn't bouncing our way. And the defense just got absolutely tortured in the first half. I said before the game, yes, we're going to give up yards, but can we just keep them to field goals? The first half, no. It was just touchdowns for Love. He could do what he wanted, and then the offense just couldn't respond at all. It was looking pretty grim. If it was the Bears team from previous years, I might have even switched off at halftime. But you just had something in the back of your mind, just keep watching, see what happens. And fair play to the defense. Second half, I don't know where it come from, but they definitely stepped up. They gave up 21 points in the first half. They gave up six in the second, which they had to do for us to be even have a chance. Sweat got given the ball by Ben Johnson after the game. He even said, stat line might not show for it, but he got into Love's face, and it did cause him a bit of havoc. And it was just complete. It was just vital if we were going to have any chance. So fair play to the D. I know the offense is going to get a lot of credit, but fair play to the D to ignore the first half and come out the second half and play the way they did. But the fourth quarter, that's Caleb's time. Like, unbelievable. That fourth and eight that he made late in the fourth was the best play of the game, best play of the season. Just outstanding to think that in his head he knows this is the season. It's not just a game, it's the season. He managed to make a play, difficult play. He's the most clutch quarterback when it comes to these situations. If he could start a game like that from the first whistle, he's going to be the top five quarterback in the league, in my opinion, because his talent is just there. When we got the touchdown to Moore to take the lead, I was a bit concerned that there was too much time on the clock. I'm not going to lie. But I did jump. Soldier Field jumped. Every Bears fan jumped when we got touchdown. But you were a bit concerned. But we held on. We got the win. Amazing. And the scenes after the game were, well, there's a lot of talk at the minute about Ben Johnson because he used some hurty words after the game, and Green Bay fans are not liking it. But no, Rodgers swore at Bears fans at Soldier Field. Remember when Jay Cutler was the quarterback and the Green Bay Packers players used to say, we don't need to do anything. Cutler will just throw the ball to us. You know, they said they were going to get revenge of Booker. They wanted to play us in the playoffs, all this kind of stuff. The intensity was there. Ben Johnson has the intensity, and that's probably what gets us through the game. But hey, we're moving on. We're going to play the Rams next week, well, on Sunday. Um, Amazing. But I'm joined by Nick today, the creator of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. Thank you so much. I guess the first question is, have you recovered from Saturday night? I mean, wow.
I mean, the was definitely there for a day or two because game didn't end till late. But I just have to tell you this: is the city was absolutely electric till dawn. I mean, everywhere you went, whether it was two, three. I mean, I was almost out till 4 in the morning. It was slam packed with just people having a good time, and that is something this city has been missing for arguably 7 years since 2018. Sure, we had the Cubs playoff run this past year, which was great, a lot of fun. Wrigley was electric. But Bears football, there's something different about it. So to answer your question, my hangover was all the way till Monday. And I am recovered now from my heart rate sitting at 150, sitting in a chair. But it's ready to go back up again this Sunday against the LA Rams. I can't be more excited about it. This is going to be bear weather. It already looks like an exciting game, and it's going to be awesome to say the least. So I'm super pumped about it. And also, thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
No, thank you. I mean, going back to the game, let's be honest. I know we've had comebacks. It's the seventh comeback of the season. When it got to half time, what did you truly believe? Did you think we had a chance, or did you think, maybe not?
I was telling everyone on the live stream, I said, listen, this game is not over. You still got 30 minutes of football left, and there's 18 points to be brought back. Well, the Bears were able to do that. They were able to, as they do in fashion, they've done it 7 times this year, come back in the second half and show that they were ready to play football. And that's exactly what they did. No, I did not give up. I'm very optimistic about this team. I've watched them for nearly 29 years now, and it has been just this season's so much different. You can't give up on this team. You have a coach that doesn't give up. You have players that are bought in that don't give up. So at halftime, I had some people start leaving my live stream, and I was like, all right, well, we'll see you guys in the fourth quarter because they're going to come back. And sure enough, I'm looking at the chat, and all of a sudden they're like, all right, I'm back, and tail in between their legs. And I get it. Like there's been fans that have watched this team that aren't used to this. Luckily, in my lifetime, I'm still just at that point where I'm not an old dog yet, and I can still learn new tricks about this team. I love it though. What a fantastic win. The second half adjustments have truly shown how much different this staff is. Dennis Allen, he credit to him. I wanted him fired at halftime. That was one thing I was saying. I was like, get this guy out of here, make Al Harris the DC. But what an adjustment by a DA on that part. He does have a challenge going against Sean McVay. He's 2-6 all time against him when playing the Rams as a defensive led team by Dennis Allen, but also Ben Johnson giving Caleb Williams and that offense the confidence to go out there, get the job done. And that's why the Bears are playing another week of football and the Packers are not.
Yeah, it's a good point about the defense though. Like, but it wasn't just bad the first half. It was just well, we just couldn't do anything, could we, defensively? So, what do you think was the difference? Because I know I mentioned Sweat got a bit more pressure on Love, but Love did not look comfortable like he did in the first half, did he?
No, Love did not look comfortable. And in the second half, in the first
Yeah.
half, he was just doing whatever he wanted. And there was no pressure from the defense. You saw in the second half that Kyler Gordon started getting a little bit more involved, which was great. You barely saw him in the first half. You saw Nashawn Wright take some blitz packages, Jaquan Brisker as well. The second you send a safety on a blitz, Jordan Love has a millisecond to hopefully have someone out there. And Matt LaFleur is a good offensive minded guy because he always does have that. But it's who's faster. And if you can have a sneaky corner defensive back fly off the edge and get in Love's face, that's what's going to help this team out the most. And, not having CJ Gardner Johnson out there, who has been our best nickel blitzing defensive back. I mean, he's been fantastic. Wasn't out there with a concussion. Hope he gets well soon. And, that's nothing too serious, but take the time you need. This team definitely was more aggressive in the second half. Dennis Allen also was playing a little less zone, it looked like, a little more man coverage. And when you play man coverage against Green Bay, there's much higher probability, it seems like, when you're able to stop them versus zone because Matt LaFleur is the king of just ripping up zone defenses. He always has someone open. And Jordan Love, and I want to say this too, Jordan Love is not a bad quarterback by any means. He might be overpaid, but he is definitely one of the, I would say, above top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL. So you can't just be like, yeah, no, this is going to be a cakewalk. Nah, not so much. Jordan Love is pretty darn good at reading defenses too. Overall, Dennis Allen did a fantastic job. He's dealt with injuries all season long, but he cannot do what he did this upcoming Sunday in the first half against the Rams because they're the number one offense in the NFL, and that's going to be a big problem.
Yeah, it's a good point about Gordon as well, because he clearly wasn't even match fit, I don't think, because there was a couple of plays where he was a bit slow, which is fair enough. He's been out all season. So it's going to be interesting because if he gets more match fit, he's going to get better, isn't he? So that's going to be a benefit for the defense. Obviously, a lot of the talk is going to be about was it more that Green Bay bottled the game, or was it because we made adjustments and actually Caleb came out and won us the game with the defense obviously stepping up? How do you look at it? Because in my opinion, we've played them twice in the regular season. They're both similar type games. Like we made a comeback at Lambeau as well, and we obviously failed at the last hurdle. And then we did the same at Soldier Field. Came back, so they know we can come back. So surely they would have known this and would have played through fourth quarters. So I actually think it's more on the Bears playing good more than Green Bay bottling it.
I agree. I mean, the adjustments, they have just as much time to make adjustments as well. They know that the Bears, playing them twice this year, what kind of adjustments they're going to bring in the second half. Green Bay had every single opportunity to do the same. Bears are a better ball club when it comes down to adjustments. And listen, these guys are some of the best athletes in the world. That's why they're in the NFL. And you could say that the Bears could have, a less talented roster overall than Green Bay, specifically on the defensive side of the ball from how it was before Micah Parsons got hurt. But you cannot deny the good coaching. Good coaching unlocks players. And I think that the Bears have a better coaching staff than Green Bay. That's why you're able to go out and win games. And I saw some Packers fans talking about it. And they're like, well, we didn't have Micah Parsons the last two matchups, and you beat us both times. Well, does one player make a team? Is there an I in team? You still have
Yes.
some pretty good defensive linemen over there that can make adjustments. And we almost beat you with Parsons. And we were banged up entering that game. We didn't have Kyler Gordon. We didn't have a lot of our top players. We didn't even have Tremaine Edmonds, who finally started to look like himself this past weekend against Green Bay. So the excuses are just running out for them right now. And you made a comment earlier saying how Green Bay Packers fans want Ben Johnson to apologize. I'm sorry. Like you said, Aaron Rodgers yelling at young fans, older fans in the end zone saying, I own you. Where's the apology for that? All the years. It's just that Green Bay was every fan that's below the age of 20 years old is just used to pure dominance. Well,
Mhm.
now they're getting the reality check that the Bears fans have had their entire life, and things switch. History switches itself. History repeats itself, and the Bears dominated for so long. Packers had their moments of dominating too for decades. It's finally going back in the Bears' favor for now. I'm not trying to amp myself up too much
Mhm.
because it is one season, technically a little bit of last season, the last four matchups, three of the four are gone in the Bears' favor. I'm not done yet. I give me 3 years of the Bears doing this. I'm like, all right, yeah, now we're the true owners of this because Green Bay owns the all time record, but not yet. But I'm happy how the season went so far.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about next season what the games are going to be like against Green Bay is going to be insane, isn't it? But I mean, like you said about Parsons, though, but last season they didn't have Parsons and they were top five defense, I think it was in the league. So
Yep.
I mean, it's a well-established defense. So I mean, it's like you said. I mean, our injuries were comical. I mean, we didn't have any secondary at one point, and then when they came back, we didn't have any linebackers, and it was like you had to laugh or cry, and it was just ridiculous. But we've got to talk about that fourth down play in the fourth quarter where Caleb, it's 4th and 8. It comes down to this, the season comes down to that play. I mean, how good is that? How good a throw and just have the confidence to do that.
I mean, off his feet, literally in midair to make that throw. It's like when Ja'Day Walker does his touchdown celebration where he's walking across the air. It's like, how are these Bears players doing that? Like, what is in the water at Hallis Hall that's making these guys literally float? What did Ben Johnson bring from Detroit to make players float? it it was a moment where you're sitting there going, this is it. I'm either going to be talking about the Bears positively for one more week, or I'm already going to be talking about draft picks. I'm going to be talking about free agents. I'm going to be talking about what went wrong, players that are potentially leaving, coaches that could potentially be leaving. No, I'm talking about arguably one of the most incredible throws of this season and so far in the 2020s. He did it. It's like when Patrick Mahomes did that diving throw where he threw a sidearm. I believe it was in the AFC Championship or it was in the Super Bowl and he completed it. This is the type of stuff that the Bears went out and got Caleb Williams for. You
Mhm.
give him a good coaching staff. And you could say, like, oh, we have an offensive line for him now. Why is he still doing throws like that? Because he's a natural athlete and a competitor, and he is just so gifted all around. He's not the biggest quarterback by any means. He's a big guy. I mean, you go and see him. He's 6'1", I believe, 220 plus, very built. And a guy to be able to throw footballs like that and be as athletic as he is truly remarkable. And that
Mhm.
throw right there, you look at it and you're like, where is Air Jordan? Why is Michael Jordan not calling Caleb Williams right now? I'm like, I want you to be the face of Air Jordan moving forward. That's it.
Mhm.
That's my personal reaction.
I mean, it was that picture. It looked like the Air Jordan picture, didn't it? The way he like actually jumped out of his feet and made that throw. It was ridiculous. And I loved how Rome came out and said, "Well, you say that's the best throw, but then he'll do another one afterwards." And it's like he just keeps on making these throws, and the players are obviously just completely all in on him. And yeah, it's unbelievable that I got to talk about the running backs for a minute because I always seem to neglect them, and I never actually give them a big shout out. But really, they've they've been really good, haven't they? I mean. One guy, like obviously a rookie, he's been absolutely lights out, hasn't he? He's an absolute beast. How impressed are you with those two lads?
Oh my gosh. I mean, so I've said this before, I've said this on other shows, is that I think DeAndre Swift needs a public apology from Bears fans because last year he still put up well over 1,300 yards total from scrimmage, and that was with a bad offensive line. He didn't have much help last year in the running back room. It was pretty much him. He gets Monungai, puts up even better numbers with a better offensive line, less playing time, or less snaps at least, and he's just ripping it up. Every time DeAndre Swift gets the ball, you're like, all right, that's 3, 4 yards right there. I mean, sure, he'll have his 1 or 2 yard gains every time, but you give me 3 or 4 yards every single time. You're looking at 3rd and 1. You're looking at a fresh set of first downs because of how DeAndre Swift is doing. But also, before we get into Monungai, it's really like Eric Bieniemy.
Mhm.
Super Bowl champion offensive coordinator as our running backs coach shows how well of a job Ben Johnson has done. And let's say Declan Doyle does end up getting hired as an OC elsewhere in true OC. Please make Eric Bieniemy your OC. Please promote him. Do not lose him because this running back group is just getting started. And I think that next year, because of how Roshan Johnson is, unfortunately, with his injuries, I think that it'll be the last year of his rookie contract. The Bears might end up releasing him, unfortunately. That's part of the business. Bears are going to probably go out and get another running back late in the rounds. And if you can create a three-headed monster for at least one season, because Swift's contract will be over after this year, you're not going to repay him big money again at the moment, at least, unless he continues this consistency. You still have Monungai and then another guy backed up. So the running back room's been fantastic. Going back to your comment about Monungai, seventh round pick out of Rutgers. I mean, Rutgers not a well known Big Ten school, even though there have been pumping out some running backs lately. Kyle Monungai has everything in a bag of chips that you want as a Bears fan. You want a guy that can go out there, pop people. He did it against Green Bay, literally break helmets of people because of how angry he runs, juke out people, run downfield, break it, just get yards and get purpose yards. Don't try to make it flashy, just get the job done. And he's only a rookie learning this. So this running back room is just led by Eric Bieniemy, being a good mentor and leader. And then you have DeAndre Swift, who's helping the young rookie out in this squad next year. That's why you're the number 3 running offense in the NFL, where you were number, I believe, 26 after the first 3 weeks, and then you just absolutely take off. Really good stuff by this Bears offense, and I'm excited about this duo, at least for the next year. If they want to extend DeAndre for another year or two to keep the contract to stay with Monungai, I would love it. But running back, hard position to make money. You usually only get one big contract with it. This group rocks, though. So I feel you. I do feel like we neglect the running backs a little bit. We don't appreciate them enough. But yeah, they're quite a bunch to watch.
Yes, I can't let you go as well before we talk about the Rams, your predictions. You said about Bears weather. Do you think that's going to make a massive difference? Because, Stafford played in Lions. I know they played in a dome, but he's used to playing at Green Bay. He's used to playing at Chicago and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, they're going to have to rely on the running game, even though they're quite a pass-heavy team. Do you think that's going to make a massive difference to the game, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Rams are first in yards, first in passing, and first in points. They're seventh in rushing. So their rushing attack is still very respectful, and the Bears need to be prepared for it because we know our Bears defense is not very strong against the run. That being said, Matthew Stafford is 1-8 all time in his career when it feels 20 degrees or colder. Feels, not actually. Caleb Williams, I just tweeted this out, is 3-1 during his career so far. Truly the Iceman. I mean, he is embracing being a Chicago Bear. And I know we only have this type of, advantage potentially for only the next couple of seasons, but we need to take advantage of it now. Last time the Bears and Rams played in the playoffs versus each other was the 1985 season, where it felt colder than 20 degrees with the wind chill, and the Bears won in a shutout at Soldier
Mhm.
Field. Do it again. Matthew Stafford playing with a sprained index finger on his throwing hand. That's a factor too. And he does not do well in cold weather. He doesn't, I mean, overall in his career, he has done well against the Bears, but you look at his cold weather games versus his warm weather games or dome games, that's where the advantage comes from. So, and Sean McVay is 0-2 all time at Soldier Field. And usually he plays in somewhat nicer weather, to say the
Mhm.
least, not raining or not snowing with negative wind chills. This is going to be a true test for them, but it really is an advantage. And we saw it this past weekend. It wasn't warm for Bears Packers, and it's going to be even colder this upcoming Sunday. And I think it truly is an advantage for the Bears.
Yeah, can't wait. I mean, it was quite funny watching like when they played the Eagles last year in the playoffs. The Eagles kind of knew, didn't they? And it was like, the Rams tried getting points quite early before the snow hit. It was quite an entertaining game, but hopefully we can get it over the line. But so what's your score prediction before I let you go?
Oh man. Every single game is close. You look at the Niners game, you look at the Lions game, you look at the Packers game, it's going to be another close one. And I said 28-27 Bears Packers this past week. Wasn't too far off. I will call it again. I'm going to call it 28-27 again. I think that this is going to be a shootout on the ground, though. And unless
Mhm.
Caleb can get things going in the air, maybe it's going to be a big Bears game. But Sean McVay is one of the smartest offensive minds. Why he has a Super Bowl ring, why the Rams are always in the playoffs. No denial. And Matthew Stafford's playing at an MVP level. It's going to be a great one, but I got the Bears always winning 28-27.
Absolutely. I think we just got to accept it's going to be stressful. So thank you so much for coming on, man. Take care of yourself. But yeah, thank you for giving your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me on. Love the show. And as always, bear down, baby.
Yeah.